Hi there, this is the Women Who Tech podcast. It's another exciting episode, and I'm Lisa, your permanent host. Today, we're gonna speak about the technical project management and content creation on YouTube. Since we're having such an awesome guest, Mariia Lobachova, who is technical project manager, mentor, and content creator. Hi, Mariia, how's it going?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for amazing intro, for having me today. Yeah, today going well, Berlin, as always, in Berlin mood, gloomy, cold, rainy. But I hope this podcast will improve my mood.
Yeah, you see, you just said about the gloomy Berlin, and a son in my neighborhood at least heard you and wanted to warm up
Lucky
our
you.
conversation.
Lucky you.
Anyway, full disclosure that we actually met at the Ukrainian meetup.
The meetup, I think it's like, job hunting, people who are looking for a job and different tips and tricks. How can you find a job in Berlin? What you need to take into account, because Ukrainian market, the Ukrainian job search strategies are way too different from German ones.
Of course, and it was an awesome meetup, and we talked to each other and discovered that both of us are content creators. I'm doing podcast, as you know, and Mariia has a YouTube channel and does the content creation for it. And both of us are specialists in certain areas. And I've been so keen to learn how's your ordinary day as a technical project manager look like.
Yeah, well, as a project manager, I don't have an ordinary day, likely or unfortunately, but it's always fun. It's often rather hectic, with a lot of talking and writing. For example, currently I'm working in a company and I'm the only project manager there, plus 3 product managers. And my day often contains team sync, conduction, gathering requirements for new initiatives, updating business on statuses, preparing reports, even sometimes performing acceptance testing, coordinating releases, adjusting plans according to what has been done, according to new findings. And sometimes I also help with the interview process. So as you can see, the schedule of the day can be quite diverse.
It's very interesting that many people whom I asked the same question answered that way, that there is no ordinary day. Every day is full of some new surprises, diverse tasks. Maybe the frame can be same. You have the stand-up, you have many meetings.
Yeah.
I've been working with the project managers a few times, but mostly on a setup when you have the project of software development from scratch, or rather when there is a need and a task to develop a certain functionality to the existing and a successful product. If you could also tell us, what's the ordinary case study or use case for technical project management, as there is not only project management part, but also technical part, which means, I guess, you work with the engineers quite tightly.
Yes, indeed. The difference between just project manager and technical project manager is project manager answers questions like when it will be ready and what resources do we need, whether technical project manager works also on how we are going to do that. So I'm deeply involved into technical discussions with the dev team to help them understand business requirements better, and on the other hand to calibrate on how it should be implemented on the technical side. I'm never a decision maker tech-wise, but I'm always involved in discussions and facilitations, and I also can translate technical approach we've chosen to the business team in a more understandable way. Our product functions from the inside.
Right. That's the secret ingredient of the technical project management. And how did you learn and get into the kingdom of the technical knowledge of development? Did you have the proper education?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've started actually as a developer, and indeed, I actually have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I've studied program engineering, and this journey of being programmer started in a very trivial way. As a kid, I played computer games a lot, and I wanted to become a game creator as any true gamer. Yes, and I worked for almost 3 years as a programmer. Slowly, I realized I'm not interested in it anymore, in reading tech books in my spare time. I simply don't want to work on improving my tech skills anymore to become, a senior architect. And this is why I started to explore other positions within the IT sector. And why I became attracted to the project management is because here both like soft and hard skills are important. And to be a great project manager, you need to work on yourself a lot, actually. Like it's organization, negotiation, time management, emotional intelligence, being aware of your own triggers, and improving this brings a lot of benefits outside of work. So by becoming a better professional, you are actually becoming a better person. And I think it's the beauty of project management.
Oh wow, so well said. And I can relate to this. I'm also having a bachelor in computer science. And it's so funny because I think like I don't remember I know the majority of things that I learned in my time, but the part that it connects design and development and product management really helped me a lot to find common language with engineers.
Yeah.
Every time when we are approaching also the ideation, the evaluation, risk assessment, and so on, and that's super cool. I think as product management and project management gives you this diversity of soft skills polishment, same design does, and I think
Exactly.
I can say about the product design that the better you are getting at presentation, at clarity of your thoughts, the more interesting you become as a person.
Yeah, definitely. And also the problem solving skills. I think the way you're getting used to resolving different like blockers and problems as a project manager, it's like after that, all problems in life, they're like easy. I can do that.
Right. If I read like I know some tech book once, and then I did the whole PM book, then I can solve anything in my life or something. Yeah, problem solving is definitely on a very high level for many people in tech. Now I'm super interested from your perspective. What's the main difference between product management and project management? And of course, if you ever have any nice encounters with product managers.
Yeah, like you, I had a lot of great colleagues on the product management side. So I've learned a lot from them. But indeed, these are two different positions. Like product management is about like answering what and why. It's like what we are building and why our users need it and why they will use it, how they solve problems of our users, of our customers. Whether project management is about like how and when, and it's making sure that the thing gets built on time, on a budget, and with the right process, and that it meets the project goal, which is also very important because like project can be built under budget and within time frame, but doesn't meet the project goal at all. So like say product manager says, let's build this thing, and project manager answers like, yeah, cool, it will be done then, and this is the steps we will take to do it.
Nice.
Yeah, and in my experience, this to collaborate closely, but sometimes for small projects, it can be one person who does like two roles at the same time. But I think it doesn't work for big projects because it's too much pressure, tasks, communication. As a project manager, you need to work on plan, on strategy. As a product manager, you need to do researches and interviews, and it's like really complicated to do both at the same time.
Absolutely. It's very much complicated because, you're juggling not only the project plan, deadlines, iterations.
Yeah,
As a product manager, you also do the whole product vision and strategy and a lot
exactly.
of negotiations and sometimes even playing it politically in the right way. I guess that also happens for the project managers because it's like many stakeholders involved. And in your experience, would there be the dedicated project managers and product managers to this certain project? Is that a common practice even?
Yeah, it's a common practice, at least in my experience. Let me think. It's like it depends on the company setup, but in the company I'm currently working in, there are product managers dedicated to a big products. So we work together with them on deliverables for those big products, but there are also small initiatives or like smaller projects. And this is where I can step in as a project manager and at the same time as a product manager to gather requirements, create documentation, align with business. So it's a combination.
Yeah, of course. Very fascinated, and I think it's a lot of work. I want to get into the phases of project management practices. I think this is some chapter that I used to interact with more common, and now it's gone. And I'm curious, what are the project phases and common project management practices for each in order to make this project successful, team stakeholders happy as much as possible, and also not to go insane for a project manager?
Yeah. Well, there are 5 phases, which are a common one: initiation, planning and execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing or completion. I don't remember, but I think for me as for project manager, initiation and closing are the most stressful ones. Initiation, you're starting from a business case, from a small document. It can be like 2 pages describing like why we are doing this project and who are our users. And then you need to shape from this document the actual plan, the actual requirements, set up a governance, like assemble a team. So basically prepare everything to kick off the project, and key to its success before like starting the execution is to gather as many requirements as needed to build a solid architecture from the beginning. Because often in Agile, there is a common misconception that Agile projects can start like from the business case. Like we have nothing, first sprint, here is the team, go build.
Like in a game, you have a target, resources, just go.
Yeah, you will figure out later. But actually, Agile is about adjusting along the way according to new findings, maybe market change, but it's not about starting without the plan. So I would say key success for a project is well prepared plan during the initiation phase, well gathered requirements during the initiation phase.
So basically, the whole journey starts from the beginning, from the planning, and this is the key, the way how we got into the phase, into the project. 5 phases, that's what you can overview as a project manager. Does it help you a lot in your daily routine professional life to have this skeleton, this mapping of what usually is going on, what's the project life cycle is, to understand where you are and what is the right move?
It brings clarity not only to me, but also for all the participants involved in the project, because it gives people a clear understanding what goes next, what we do now, what is the outcome, what is the artifact of initiation, what's the artifact of planning. And for people, it's easier to understand where we are now and what is needed from everyone. So yeah, I find it extremely useful. And usually before the beginning of every project, I feel like even when we have like just a business case, I try to convey the information. So here is our plan. Here are our steps. We need to collect this. We need to talk about that. We need to do the discovery for this. So like I try to give like from the very beginning for people a guideline, a map. Here are our steps and what we need to do.
Nice. And would you use the professional jargon or the professional terms for it? Like, it's our initiation phase. Or would you rather describe what the whole thing is about right now?
Yeah, it's better to describe what we are doing right now, why we are doing this. If I say, okay, guys, we are on the initiation phase, nobody will understand me. They're like, okay.
Yeah, it's like what do we initiate? Now, it's a silly question, but it also connects to the problematic of common language, as developers could use some jargons, designers as well. And when you're talking to a team, it's better to talk as humans, like in the professionally, but while understanding terms. So
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I really love to hear about the misconceptions about your work as a project manager. There was a very cool episode on your YouTube channel, which is called Manage Me Hard. I have watched the whole episode. What are these common things that people got about the project management wrong? And is there a magic pill that can fix everything?
About fixing everything, that's a good point. Yeah, that made me think that exactly a lot of people think that if we have a really good, professional, responsible project manager, everything will go smoothly, no surprises, no blockers. But it's actually not quite true. PM is just like one person, and they manage chaos, but they cannot remove it completely, right? They reduce surprises, but they can't predict everything. And for example, if there is a perfect project manager, but toxic corporate culture, or if the team is immature, project manager can try to do something about it, but he or she should not be the only person who does the improvement of the process or skills. I will make maybe an example. I worked on a project where during the year 10 people were changed, 10 developers, and it was a team of 10 people. So, and they were changed without me asking about it. So I was notified 1 or 2 weeks before. So, hey, Mariia, in 2 weeks, you will not have this developer. We will find someone else. In 1 year, our project looked like Frankenstein because because it was built by different people in different times. So even though I tried to do the onboarding phase as smooth as possible, you can't do actually much if like the top management doesn't help you, let's say. Yeah, the next misconception, project managers do nothing, just talk. Basically, that's by talking, this is what we need to do to gather requirements, to collect information, to prepare planning, to update statuses, to see if project is on track. This is actually the way of exchanging information, right? But like this communication results into different artifacts like documents, tickets, plans changed, etc. So yeah, that's common misconception. Well, I had a combination of misconceptions applied to me. Right now, I'm 30 years old, but when I started as a manager, I was 24, a young woman, project manager. So people think you just started to work as a project manager to do nothing, you know?
Or just to be well paid and
be
raise some
well
money.
paid and do nothing. So it's a bit complicated, of course, when you start to work in a company and you already feel towards you. So some people applied some stereotypes, and you need to earn the trust, their respect by doing your job not just well, but super well, to outperform, to bring a lot of value, to make people see that you actually are you are useful here. And you're not just being paid for going to the office and drinking coffee.
Absolutely. You basically just repeated the thought from many researchers and from gender studies, which say that in order to be visible and competitive with men in the view or in the public view, very often women professions should not only be professional, right, but also outperform, be on alert and predict things and be super proactive in the right way. So it might be quite challenging and I bet also exhausting, because I also tried that myself, and there are certain things that you can resolve by that. But there are also company culture, as you also mentioned. They just is not willing to see young women in that way. If you feel stuck as a young woman, it's very wise, very important to understand which battles to keep on tackling and just to step out.
I would advise to directly approach person if there was an appropriate joke on comment, tone of voice, and ask not to do that anymore, or ask why it's happening. People are testing your boundaries. If they see they can behave like that and you do nothing, they will continue. So it's better to work with these situations right on the beginning.
All right. Yeah, that sounds very good. To have clear and healthy boundaries, and people going to learn to respect them that way. You mentioned that you also changed the country that you used to live. So relocation from Ukraine to Berlin, where we are now, it's a big and big change in life. And I want to ask you in here, how's it going for you as an expat? What are the common challenges that you faced?
Well, definitely my work style has changed, and especially work-life balance. In Berlin, there is a strong work-life balance culture. People respect boundaries, no late night Slack messages or calls. So like after 6, no work usually, unless there are some exceptions. Also, I changed the way I communicate. It's more diplomatic now because our office is very diverse culture-wise, and we Ukrainians are very direct and straightforward.
Yeah,
In our
sometimes we are like that.
And the Europeans can think we are rather rude, so we have to adjust. I recall people in Kyiv tend to share a lot of personal details about kids, their spouses. Here, people are more preserved, and I prefer that more. So work is for work. Of course, we share some details, like my kid went to a kindergarten, first day it went well, but no too private personal details about problems, about health issues.
Yeah, which also sounds to me as holding the clear boundaries and not crossing them, which is for our European colleagues by default something that I also personally enjoy. It's cool like to ask how is it going on a one-on-one call. I know somebody would share like, yeah, I just had a nice vacation. It was a cool journey, not too specific, to not overwhelming and not too private, and that's also fine until you become friends, and then it's extra role to you as with the colleagues.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a nice difference. I know that you also work with Americans and now the new scene, the European scene. From your perspective and your experience with working with founders and business owners and colleagues from there, how different the culture of two are, and how did you feel in both of them as a Ukrainian?
Oh, well, there is, a stereotype that people in Europe, they're lazy and they don't work as hard as Americans. Well, that's not true. There are a lot of workaholics, but maybe for a lot of Americans, work is often on the first place, at least what I noticed from my colleagues. And Europeans more about balance. Today, for example, work is most important, so it's first place, but tomorrow I have fever, I take sick leave, and I make myself as a first priority. Well, with Europeans, I've never seen people writing, I'm on my vacation, but reach me out anytime if you have any question. Well, I saw that only from maybe C-level. From my American colleagues, I saw that quite often from any employee, like I'm on sick leave, I'm on vacation, that's my number, that's my mail, reach me out anytime.
Yeah, so American people are open to the situations where they are needed even while holidays, and Europeans are not, which is also something that I personally relate to, because we work hard and it's also important to rest well, rest hard. That would restore us and our energy. So it makes sense. And with the expat life, how did you perceive Berlin, and how's it going? Any certain things that you would love to mention there?
Yeah. Well, in 3 years, I think I already faced any situation you could imagine in Berlin. I've even forgot my keys twice, so I had to call specific service so they can open my door with a plastic thing for 200 euros.
Gosh, yeah.
But at least they're fast. What bothers me still in Germany, and I won't be unique here, is bureaucracy and how everything takes a lot of time. So I get used to the fact that in Ukraine, you order something and it can be delivered the very next day. Whether here it's like several days, the parcel can be given to some neighbor, so you need to look for it for too long. It's not about even ordering something. It's about any service. It takes time to find an apartment, find a job, and I had hard times to get used to that because, for example, when I was looking for a job and I was waiting for 2 weeks for feedback on interview or on my request, I started to question, my self-worth and my professionalism. So I thought that the time it takes for the company to respond has not something to do with me, but it's not. It's just everything takes longer here because the process is slow, well-thought decisions, no rush, and it's not because of me, it's because this is how things work here.
Another aspect of, I guess, mostly German culture and how things are quick or rather slow in here. And I remember the quote from a Ukrainian recruiter that we met at the meetup, same meetup, very vividly. She said, "Yeah, I joined the company and was assigned one open position, which was not closed for last 9 months, and it took me another 3 months to close it, and it was all right for them." I saw that sometimes the role for which a certain person is searched for can be split among other colleagues, or or just kind of covered in a different way while the need is still there and they are still looking for the person. So, and also there might be no reply in summertime where people are on vacations or in the public holidays. And I guess you all know about it, but for me it was a surprise because back in Ukraine I could have gotten the new position in 2, 3, 4 weeks, not months.
Yeah, it's way too different.
It's very different. Yeah, culture aspect and the job search, job market aspect. All right, thank you so much for sharing that. I think we all know that the expat life is not easy, especially the first year here in Berlin, in Germany in general. I want to also ask you the question that was on my mind for a while now. There on LinkedIn, you have the PMP certification label. And I noticed that quite some project managers have that too. They have a goal to get one. And I'm wondering why it's so important, the PMP certification, how that influences the professional life of project manager, and like for you personally, what that means.
First, it's the only globally recognized certification in project management on that scale. So when you say that you have a PMP certification, it's like everyone understands that you know what you're doing, that you have experience, and you follow best practices, because exam is truly practical. You can't even pass it without experience. So you need to apply and you need to prove that you already delivered as a project manager several projects within the 3 years at least time frame. So yeah, that's what I like about it. And I'm actually confident that in any profession, if you want to achieve a certain level, you must know best practices of your field. And then when you know them, you can decide whether to use them or not, but at least you need to be aware. And for my career, like, since currently I'm working in a small company and it's not like a company who implements projects for some clients, it's just internal products. I think that the certification gave me open future opportunities in case I want to unlock some roles which require PMP certification. And I saw in Germany, it's quite often a requirement for senior positions, for program manager positions. It gives also credibility to me, and it gives me confidence. I can actually, speak a real project manager language with this certification, because I've been studying for that 4 months, and I passed a lot of simulation tests, and I answered almost 1,000 simulation questions. So it was quite a wild ride to get prepared, but it also made me understand really great project management concepts.
That sounds great. It reminds me, it's like in parallel universe. I guess that's how many questions the future drivers would answer in order to get the exam right and their driver license. And PMP certification also sounds like a huge content that you have to understand.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I guess as much as PMP certification gives boost to a project manager's career, the mentorship sessions also do so.
Yeah.
I know that you proposed the mentorship to other people interested in that. Could you tell us whose people these consultations are for, and what commonly one can get out of them?
I didn't have a chance yet to work with many requests by now, because I haven't been actually vocal enough about the service I offer and provide. So people who requested consultations from me, they actually found me via my YouTube channel or via my LinkedIn. So I provide the service. From consultations I already conducted, there were requests like CV review and mock interview to prepare for the real interview. Because, when you're asked questions on the interview, you might answer something not in the best way. So I help to overcome the fear, and I help to highlight a strength of a specialist in the answer. Mostly also because I am interviewer myself. I conduct interviews often in the current company, and I did it in previous companies. I know from the practical experience what people do and answer in the wrong way. So I can correct that. Also, there were like a couple of requests to help with the current project, like to analyze like situation the person is in and help to advise like what is the best decision in the situation person in. And Yeah, there was the last request about project management in general. So person is not project manager, but she was thinking about switching and wanted to ask me general questions. So it was open discussion about project management, what is needed, what are the challenges. So yeah, I truly believe that my 9-year experience in IT as a developer, as a Scrum Master and a project manager will be beneficial for job seekers and for project managers who already working. So I would love to be a mentor for someone, not just one meeting, but build together a career strategy or to help with some new project or current project in a series of meetings where we build a plan, build a release strategy. So yeah, I'm thinking nowadays how I can convey this information to people that's my service. Please reach me out if you're interested. I might use the service ADP.
Yeah, there are a few of them. One of them, ADP list platform, which you also can find me there. Dot sh. I think it's the new project of is out there that now also lets the mentees in. Mentors are also welcome. Are your consultations are being booked mostly on a personal connection?
Yes, on a personal connection. I did create my Mentor Sash account, but I still need to post it on LinkedIn. So I need to make people know that here I am, here's my service, please reach out. So yeah.
Yeah, that you're available for the
Exactly.
built-in also long-term relationship, because I really love what you said, that mentorship can really blossom for both of the parties when it's not only just a one-time consultation, rather the long-term relationship, and you can support the person and be and take them by the hand, metaphorically speaking, and support through the whole complex things in project management. So that's why if you are a project manager or considering to step into that field, feel free to reach out to Mariia. We are gonna include all the links under the episode description.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And we just mentioned your YouTube channel, Manage Me Hard YouTube channel, that is all about project management, working in tech, certain common themes and tendencies that we have there. I'm already a fan of it. I'm already watching the last episodes with my eyes open. It's a YouTube channel held in Ukrainian. I've been wondering, first of all, about the name. I think the channel name strikes as a provoking and unusual. And how did you arrive at that name?
Yeah, it is a bit provocative. It relates to my professional realization that I had that kindness and friendliness are also sometimes mistaken for weakness, especially when you're a woman. And I noticed that in some situations, people take you seriously only when you communicate in more direct and tough way. The name is related to how my mindset got shifted from, oh, I will be nice, I will explain everything in a friendly way, and everyone will listen to me. But unfortunately, this is not how it works. So sometimes you just need to be quite straightforward.
Okay. When you said that, I actually can recall now a cool meme in Instagram, because I'm in my 30s. I do use Instagram, and memes are the other language, and I think it was actually a cool reel. A young lady, just a young woman professional, explain how a junior technical project manager gonna respond when something to developers when they like. Can we do this, please? And then the middle one is like, we need that and that and that for this time. Let's roll out. And then the senior one is like, I need this and this, and maybe even with the more harsh words. And then engineers are quite responsive to this confidence and straightforwardness, and when you know what you need from them very clearly.
Yeah, I think it is applicable for any professional who is going from junior to like middle and senior position. So you're just evolving. At the beginning, you're like trying to be, nice and simple, but then you just do your job.
Yeah. You just do your job, and you can be more assertive. You just assert, you know what is
Yeah.
needed, and it's for the benefit of the whole project and team.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Yeah. So the name is super unusual and very catchy. I guess maybe when you say, I'm having the channel, this is the name, people can memorize it. And tell us also what the whole channel is for. Who's your audience, and how did the whole thing happen that you started to be a content creator and produce all those wonderful videos?
Yeah. Yeah, my channel is for project managers with or without experience who is looking for real practical tips. So it's not just project management, basics or theory. It's literally what to do in different situations and what not to do. It's like what to do during releases, retrospectives, meetings, job search, what to do to become a good project manager, or how to avoid being bad project manager. So I try to just assemble all my experience and situations I've been in into videos to bring value to people so they can avoid making the same mistakes, or they can find an answer in the question they're looking for. Via YouTube, the story is I had in my plans to be more present on the internet and build my professional image. And I was thinking about LinkedIn, Instagram, but nowadays there are so many creators who use LinkedIn and Instagram and produce a lot of text, a lot of posts. And I think it's really right now hard to stand out in writing, especially with the era of AI. It feels like a lot of people use like ChatGPT to write their texts, and they sometimes are losing their authenticity and uniqueness, because it's like you're reading sometimes similar texts. So I decided, on the other hand, video is an amazing way to engage people, not just by text, by visuals, by emotions, by the way I speak. So therefore, even though YouTube requires 8 skills, it requires text writing, it requires video creation, light setup, acting, even
Right.
SEO optimization. So like YouTube requires a lot of skills, but I find it a much easier way to convey the information I want to convey. So with text, it would be harder, and those articles would be really long, so nobody would read them. So I think with video, you can put a video on a plate, wash dishes, or do something else, and you can listen to it. So you can utilize it in the way you want. You can watch it or listen to it.
Absolutely. It's just the medium that catches the attention and that you can consume while doing anything. Same podcast, same YouTube videos. And with LinkedIn, I also noticed that a lot that people started to use ChatGPT quite thoroughly. And it's not only just like to phrase one particular thought or passage, but rather for the whole text. And now when I'm scrolling the LinkedIn and recognize the text that is being written not by ChatGPT, because it's more emotional and more down to earth and imperfect. And then it's like, wow.
Colloquial, like written in the way you would speak in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's so refreshing. Then actually that's something that you want to read through, because it's real person who wrote that. And same with the YouTube channel. I think it's very much enjoyable when you see the person face. This is how he or she speaks. You just mentioned that, right, being a YouTuber means to juggle many tasks and apply many skills. Maybe you can also tell us a bit about your behind the curtains process. How do you come up with the text that you want to say, with the idea? How do you record the video, and so on? I think maybe for somebody who's also considering the YouTube channel or any other medium, those tips might be quite helpful.
Yeah, that's a long process, actually. Video creation, thankfully, right now I'm outsourcing the video editing. I don't do it by myself, but the rest, text, scenario, video recording, I do by myself. And it requires for me around 10 hours to write text, to record, to then watch everything, to cut unnecessary thing, and then to write description for YouTube. Look for right text for YouTube, for right name for YouTube. Think about thumbnail, It takes quite a lot of time. Yeah, and think about the text for LinkedIn. So also, like, often when I sit down to write a scenario or text for LinkedIn, like the post for LinkedIn, I sometimes cannot come up with right words, so I have to postpone it. How I'm looking for ideas, I basically have a Excel sheet where I collect any topics I would like to discuss or to share. And when it's the day when I need to prepare something, I'm looking for the most useful topic on one hand, and on other hand, the topic that I have, desire to speak about right now. Because if I don't have inspiration to write a text, to write scenario, the scenario won't be written. So yeah, that's about it.
Then there are so many different things that content creators should think about ahead and get prepared. And what you just said, like, it's also a very, very important insight that maybe if you sit in front of your camera, you have your scenario, the idea, but you actually do not feel like talking, and maybe something's going on in your mind, or you're just exhausting, then it's better not to do so right now, not to force yourself into talking and doing the content creation.
Of course, when I start, for example, writing scenario and it's been 2 hours and I still cannot come up with the right sentences, or I don't even know the structure of the topic, like what I want to talk about, I'm like, just, okay, not today. So that's why that's a tricky point of YouTube, because algorithms, when you're on a schedule, like when you post once per 2 weeks, per 1 week, but sometimes you just simply don't have an inspiration and you don't want to create some shitty video with the sentences you don't know how to pronounce. So that's the tricky part of any content creation, of LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn also likes a consistency, and sometimes you're just not in the mood, you don't have inspiration to come up with right words, and yeah, that's difficulty.
Yeah, then you have to compromise with the pleasing YouTube algorithms. It just doesn't go in a creative flow, and it's fine. I'm super curious about what's up with the modern algorithms on YouTube. How do you learn about them, and how do you try to keep up with such a drastic change, with this demand of the commitment and consistency?
Yeah, a tricky part of the algorithms is that nobody actually know how they work 100%. So if you listen to different specialists on YouTube about YouTube algorithms, they might say different things. One person say, okay, don't post shorts, it kills algorithm. Another person says, that's the best for algorithms, post shorts and you will be on the top of the channels all the time. So yeah, the tricky point is when you think you found out some useful information, you then read something else from different specialists and it's completely opposite. So the complexity is to find what works for your channel. It might be shorts, it might be not shorts, it might be provocative names, it might be more, I don't know, dry names, and not so like clickbait. So that's the tricky part. And also, like, some specialists say, if you don't get enough views within first 24 hours, your video will not be taken by algorithms. But I saw so many times that my video can be unwatched almost for 3 days, for 4 days, and then on 5th day impressions go up. So like algorithms start to show my video more often. So yeah, to answer your question, how do you keep up with algorithms? I don't, because it's simply, you just try things. If they work for you, you continue. If not, then not.
Okay, I see. It's quite more complex than I thought. I actually didn't know that there are different recommendations, and that's actually the truth is that you gotta find what works for your channel specifically. I also noticed that it's quite unpredictable. When I post YouTube short and the whole episode, sometimes the shorts are gonna be with low impressions and with the low views, and then another day something happened. Maybe somebody liked or watched it till the end. You cannot predict that, and it gives an unsatisfying feeling of not being able to influence that mindfully. Do you get this one, or are you like totally chill?
No, unfortunately, I'm not chill because I spend a lot of time in video creation. And since recently, algorithms are not nice to me because I had 1 month and a half break. So somehow they now show my videos mostly to Germany. But I post on Ukrainian. I already started to post videos under VPN with Ukraine location, but it's still not fixed. It's been 7 videos since I posted when I discovered this issue, and it was not fixed yet. YouTube is a mystery, like Pandora box.
Right, I also feel so. But nevertheless, the Manage Me Hard channel is getting more and more views and followers. Last time I saw it, it was just more than 200, and you're still rolling. I think it's gonna skyrocket because the content you post is very much enjoyable and insightful.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I've been wondering also if you have reflected on how can you as and your channel stand out among so many other YouTube channels? Because right now nothing is new. There might be many channels about project management too.
Yeah, you're right. And, I've tried to find a channel which is practically based on tips and guides, and I couldn't on Ukrainian. Mostly what I found is people talking about more like theory, basics, how this work, how that work, but you can find a lot of that on Udemy or on the internet. So what I want to build, there is nothing like that on YouTube. There is not a high competition, I would say. There are channels for project managers, but not in the way I envision it. So that helps.
Right. It means that what you got there is quite unique. Is the person talking about real experience and hardships.
I also plan maybe in future when I have more viewers, more subscribers, I would like to create some kind of community. So I would like to go online with them and have some kind of online session dedicated to a specific topic where in 20 minutes I talk about something, and then we can communicate based on the topic, so they can ask questions, I can answer them. Yeah, and it will be truly free. It's actually I really have this idea in my mind to build a community of people who are really interested in project management.
Oh, nice. That's a great mission. 200 or 300 subscribers. It's already a small circle of the community. It's not a lot, but people might be quite dedicated, passionate about the project management, and
Exactly.
even such a live episode would be appreciated. And for everybody who listens or us right now, you also have a chance to get into the Maria's community even before it is getting viral. And anything you also want to mention in front of our audience?
Yeah, I would like to mention for beginners, for junior project managers, or who are thinking to start in this direction, to not to be afraid to ask questions and to make mistakes. Otherwise, you will never overcome the rookie phase. And also books and courses about project management, they are valuable, but getting the real experience from practice, it's not comparable. So do whatever you want, but find a company where you can complete a full project from the beginning to the completion by yourself. And this is how you will become a better project manager.
Well said. There are no round and silly questions, so I'm gonna include all the links to Maria's mentorship profile, the YouTube channel in the episode description, and that might be just the beginning of your sailing journey to the project management. Let us also know what you think. Thank you so much, Mariia. It was an awesome talk.
Thank you for asking right questions. I had truly pleasure answering them, and some questions made me even think about my real opinion on some subjects.
That's so awesome. I feel that we also had quite a candid conversation, and it's so cool that we can share hardships and ups and downs and the success and the aspirations like you have with YouTube channel and with the mentorship. So for everybody, keep on dreaming and moving towards your dream. And we're gonna hear each other next time in the next episode. Till then, enjoy this one. Let us know what you think, any comment, and sharing is appreciated.
Ciao.